I rescind the motion that was adopted by the town board during the regular meeting on January 24th, 13, directing the town clerk treasurer on how to maintain meeting minutes. At that time, the clerk was directed to maintain minimalist meeting minutes. I don't think that that's been happening on a consistent basis. On occasion, it's minimal. On other occasions, it's almost verbatim minutes. I think that Clerk Nicholas is well aware of her duties and is competent to perform them, and knows when they can be minimal, and knows when they need to have some additional content. And I don't think we should be telling her how to perform those duties.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to rescind the motion that was adopted by the town board during a regular meeting on January 24th, 2013, that directed the town clerk treasurer how to maintain minutes of meetings.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion?
Very quickly, so we can move along, my sentiments are much the same as yours. We have a professional clerk treasurer. I don't think the town board should be micromanaging the performance of the town clerk treasurer with regard to keeping minutes again. During my rather short tenure on this board, we have had everything from directives to motions to have minutes verbatim, to have them minimalist, and everything in between. It's just another divisive and contentious issue. Certainly we can offer suggestions, and I think appropriately so, if we have some concerns about the way in which the minutes are being maintained. And I think that's good and appropriate position to maintain, that we can say something about it, but this again is another issue that has divided the board for no good reason.
Anything further?
Just so we're clear, the motion back on January 24, 2013, so that I'm making sure that I'm voting on the right thing here, was motion Supervisor Bansky moved for minutes to be maintained as required to have minimum discussion points, and for detail, and for more details, to request for digital recordings to be provided. Is that the motion that
That is.
we're looking to rescind?
Mr. Fisher?
Thank you.
If I could just make one other comment, and this is a little bit from a practical perspective. I doubt that if there were many people in this room or at this board table could even pass the test as to what that motion said. We certainly haven't followed it since then, so what's the point?
Well, yeah, my first question is, how do you define minimal?
From the county board's perspective, I had this discussion with Clerk Nicholas. From the county board's perspective, it was little more than the motion and the vote. Would that be?
Well, then we're violating that all over the place.
Well, that's accurate, and we're all over the place. And I think the point is that if it's a discussion where there's detail that is important to capture the flavor of the discussion, I think Clerk Nicholas is competent to understand when those things need to be put into the minutes.
I'm going to give a short the minutes, all that's required in the minutes is the action taken by the body. And I have at least one community that is all they ever do, okay? That's the exception. In almost every community that we represent, the clerk is given the discretion to make sure she's got all the actions. She's got to make sure the legal requirements are met for going into closed sessions and things like that. And then she has the discretion to put in those discussion points that will help to create the legislative history so that when we go back and look at it years from now, we know what was intended by the board. And that's what I recommend, is that we at least have something, but only what is necessary. The last point I want to make, as you saw at the last meeting, one of yourselves or one of your predecessors had a written statement. And I say to any of the board members, if you feel that you made a comment that you would like in the minutes, it's very easy for you to write out, come in, listen to the tape, type it out, or have her type it out. Not easy for her to type it out necessarily, and then just attach it to the minutes. Because if you have made a specific point, and I have one supervisor the entire time that he was on the board, he had an addendum to the minutes every meeting. That's just the way he functioned, and we all got used to it. He had certain points, he always wanted to make sure his points were in the minutes, and he came in with a written statement. Just like some citizens come in, and we appreciate it if they have long statements, that they have them in writing, and then the clerk can just attach them to the minutes. So I want to make sure you understand the three levels that we're talking about. No one should ever be able to, if they want something in the minutes, type it out and ask the body as part of their motion to have it as attached to the minutes.
Final quick comment, if we really are duty bound to follow that motion that was adopted back on January 24th, 2013, then we should really probably not approve most of the minutes that we've approved in the past year, because they haven't been minimalistic minutes at all. So if you want to keep it, then get ready for that, and you better vote against the minutes that we keep.
Anything further? All in favor? Opposed?